Are you really sure you want to get your advice from a guy with a funny Slavic accent that claims to be an ex-consultant? Immediately after I published my last video, "Are online certificates worth it?" I faced a major backlash. So there was a lot of very critical comments, and we can put in a couple of them right here, so it was really not funny, along with a stellar like-dislike ratio. Thank you for that. And I must admit, my first reaction to that was, hey, that's, I feel very misunderstood, and I got a little bit emotional. And then I remembered I'm totally not an emotional guy, but I'm very rational, so then I stopped being emotional. Alright, but before I explain this mess, and a couple of the misunderstandings in last video, this video is going to be about showing you a selection of courses that are worth it. And I did a lot of research, and I had my team from Pumpkin dig into a couple of different options, into testimonials and so on, and we really figured out a list of 5 courses where we think these are courses you can't go wrong with them. Plus, in the end, we're going to score them. So we're going to give them a score from 1 to 10 based on how is the content structured, how much does it help you become more employable, so what's the chance you get a job, and also what's the price. Needless to say, make sure to stick around until the end of the video. And my friends, here it's really critical to not waste your freaking time. Of course, you can go on Google, you can do a little bit of research on the reviews that are probably faked and, get to some semi-professional conclusion in the end, but that's not what you should do. What you need to do is you need to talk to different people, you need to evaluate the results that they got from these courses, and you also need to talk to employers. And I found myself in a unique position where I could ask you, I did a very big survey on Instagram, so if you followed me, you probably noticed that I surveyed you guys, and I got a lot of very nice responses, suggestions on which courses are good, which courses are not so good. I asked you how much are they, what were your experiences, what were the follow-ups, and so on. But also through Pumpkin, the career service that I co-founded, where we help students obtain great jobs and we help them with their first steps. If you are in your 2nd or 3rd semester right now, bachelor's, undergraduate degree, and you want to aim high, you want to get into investment banking, consulting, then we can help you get there through internships, optimizing your grades, helping you with your network, and so on. So through that, of course, I was also able to tap into a big pool of people who we already placed in different firms. And so I asked these people too, which courses helped? We asked some of the employers, which courses do you favor? Which courses do you look at and you say, okay, that's proper. I accept that. That's a signal of competence if you put it on a CV. So please don't waste your time.
Don't be rude.
Researching Google and looking at, reviews that will really not get you very far, because all of that stuff, everything you can write on the internet can be
fake,
can be made look better than it actually is.
That was false and fake.
Now, before I give you the top 5 online certificates that are actually worth it, let me explain one thing, and I think this also led to a major backlash on my last video. Are online certificates worth it? And that's just very shortly, the following thing. Yes, in principle, learning is the single biggest factor that you take out of these online courses, and that's a great thing. It's great to be able to learn these things online, sometimes for free. Yes, Corona makes things incredibly difficult, and for some people in some countries it's very tough, their education is really suffering, so these online courses are great. Yes, some of these online courses are also incredibly valuable for entry-level positions, and they will be able to get you the job or get you closer to the job. But someone with an HWS MBA will still beat your Stanford GSB Elite, ICCF Columbia Business School, and also your Harvard DSR certificates. That's just the truth. And I'm not saying it's good or bad, But that's how it is right now. Moving on. Now, having said that, there is a couple of courses that are going to have great value. And now what is important for you to know to never make the mistake again to take a course and then get less out of it than you would have liked to in the first place. And this is extremely important to know now that we look at the top 5 online certificates that are actually worth it. There are 4 types of courses, and one of my followers summarized that pretty neatly, so let me do it for you one more time. There are the general mass courses, so they are accessible to anyone. That makes them a bit less competitive, mostly on websites like Coursera, Udemy, and so on, with a price point from $0 to $100. There's the specialized industry focused courses, mostly courses that are known in the specific industries, like for example, in the investment banking industry, you know about Wall Street Prep, premium packages, and so on. They usually cost from 100 to 1,000 US dollars. You have thirdly, the business school programs. These are mainly very prestigious. In terms of learning content, they don't really give you more knowledge than number 1, right? These general mass courses, but you get the brand, you get Harvard or Columbia or whatever on your CV. And that's, by the way, also why you pay, in these cases, 1,000 to, let's say, 15,000 US dollars. And then you have the globally recognized certifications such as CFA, CPA, CFP, and so on. Price point 1,000 to 5,000 US dollars, sometimes paid by your employer. Okay, so if you have come this far in the video, I think you already know a lot. Like, take these things with you, be aware of the differences, and be aware of how you do research on those courses, right? Which I did, for example, with my Instagram as well as with my Pumpkin. By the way, for Pumpkin, if you are currently in your undergraduate's degree, if you are even sometimes still at school, you know, or if you are in your master's degree, so basically we can take you by the hand and lead you through all of these different internships. You know, we will line up internships for you. This is the first one you should do. This is the second one you should do. We will help you get these internships, but we will also work on your grades, work on your extracurriculars, joining different activities, helping you network. So basically do everything you can to make your study experience a 100% experience. Take everything out of it. So if you are at this stage in your life, apply for a free career advisory call. If you are a bit later, you know, young professional, then probably we can do a one-on-one coaching of some sort. So you can also send me a message. Now let's get to the 5 courses, shall we? As I said, I received a lot of comments from you on Instagram. We're just going to display a couple of them here. It was literally hundreds. And these are going to be in no particular order. Let me start with the first one. Number 1 top online certificate that's actually worth it, Wharton Finance. So what they list, what they are going to talk about in terms of content, and this is just simply content, you know, so this is just videos. You don't have like an online support team. Nobody is checking your models or whatever. Is 4 topics: time value of money, interest rates, DCF analysis, and ROI. The cost, as you know, it's Coursera, so it's going to be 50 to 100 bucks depending on when you watch this video in order to obtain the certificate. Otherwise, to just sit in, it's free. This one is great if you're just starting out. You know, if you are at the beginning of your studies, you want to signal that you are willing to go more in the finance route. You want to have a first great name on your CV. You don't want to invest a lot of money. At the same time, a lot of my followers apparently looked at this course. So I had 4 total mentions in my replies, and 4 is a lot if, you know, you just randomly ask people which course did you take, and then 4 people mention the same course. But this one is less suitable if you are already at the end of your studies, or you are now looking to make the concrete next step into consulting or investment banking. So let's listen on. We will have solutions for that too. Second top online certificate that's actually worth it. Now here we had a couple of decisions to make. You know, should we, for example, take the Breaking into Wall Street package or mergers and acquisitions and so on. You have different types of providers that are quite similar, but in the end, this was mentioned by most people. And this one also has a great reputation in Europe as well as Northern America, from what we know from our own Pumpkin research and placements. So in terms of course content, what they talk about, I have a list here. Financial statement modeling, DCF modeling, accretion dilution modeling, LBO modeling, trading comms modeling, and transaction comms modeling. A lot of modeling. By the way, if you want to get more into that stuff, into Excel for that matter, watch my video Becoming God at Excel and learn a little bit about Excel in investment banking versus consulting. But what they also do offer is on-the-job kind of training. So it's very, very close to what you're going to do on the job. They have a very comprehensive support center, an Excel plugin, and the whole thing comes at a price point of $499 US. Now, this was mentioned by a total of 9 followers who apparently took this course, or some of them were currently taking it. Quite a big number, quite popular it seems. And let me tell you who this is not for. In theory, right? It's not for investment bankers who are soon going to start their job. Because all of these modeling courses, all of these things, you are going to be taught on the job in the first couple of weeks. Investment banks usually have very, very good kickoffs where they teach their analysts these kind of things. But then again, you have FOMO, so you're probably going to purchase the course anyways. Number 3, top online certificate that's actually worth it. The Data Analyst Nano degree on Udacity. Now this makes sense for a couple of people watching this video. First, let me tell you what you're going to learn there. I have it written down here. Intro to data analysis, practical statistics, data wrangling, data visualization with Python. It is written on the website, using a lot of very real world cases, but also from my followers, some told me it is really quite realistic and it's not just some theoretical BS. You have a lot of mentor and expert support, much more than in some of the other programs. So people actually helping you, reviewing your work, and you have even things like a LinkedIn profile review. All of that comes at a price point of $1,356 US for 4 months. Now, this is a general trend that we see at Pumpkin from employers, that data scientists, data analysis skills are incredibly helpful. So if you are looking to get into consulting, private equity, investment banking, venture capital, and so on, good data analysis skills are obviously highly, highly needed. So if you have an additional degree in data science, data analysis, and so on, this is a big bonus on your CV. In total, this one was mentioned by 8 people. Number 4, top online certificates that are actually worth it. Corporate Finance Institute's FMVA, Financial Modeling Valuation Analyst. Now this one you could say is quite similar to Wall Street Prep, breaking into Wall Street, and so on. But no, it actually isn't. In fact, it's much broader. You know, you have of course all the courses, but they talk about also things like Excel fundamentals, PowerPoint fundamentals, how to structure presentations, accounting fundamentals, and even professional ethics. Let's all feel good about the great value we are creating for humanity if we work in finance. Then they also have a support community, they have a support center, they are doing model reviews and give you feedback on your models. But the main thing here is that CFI has a very, very good brand, a very great positioning. So the certification that you obtain, and that's also how they market themselves, how they brand themselves, it almost looks like, you know, you obtain something of similar value to something like the CFA. All of that coming at a price point of $897 US, and this one was mentioned by a total of 6 people in the replies on my Instagram at the Kevin John. By the way, now that I already do some self-promotion, also check out my podcast. It's also called same as this channel. You can search it up on any podcast platform and listen to all of this rambling on the go. And now let's go on to the last one. Before then, we score all of those, and that's going to be important to determine which one's right for you. Number 5 of the top online certificates that are actually worth it, the CFA. And now let me explain and also give you a little bit of a hack in the end. The CFA, I think, doesn't need a lot of explanation. You know, you can look it up on Google. You can also watch some videos here on YouTube. The CFA is quite well known. It is internationally recognized. It's a great way to pivot into finance. If you are a consultant, you're now looking to get into finance, obtaining a CFA will signal that you are doing an effort and that you know your stuff when it comes to balance sheets, profit and loss, and so on. And to be honest, you need to really put a lot of work into it. So the people passing CFA 1, 2, 3 immediately, extremely low. All of that comes at a hefty price point, and it's not easy to say exactly what's the price point, you know, because if you register late, you will have fees and so on, blah, blah, blah. But usually, you know, you would say it's around $3,000 to $5,000 US dollars. So not that cheap. This one was mentioned by a total of 11 people as a response to my Instagram story. And bear in mind, again, I asked an open question like which courses can you recommend? And 11 people like that told me CFA. And then there was hundreds of other people that, you know, mentioned all the strangest courses you can think about. Now here comes the hack. On Udemy, there is a course called CFA Level 1 Complete Corporate Finance, or they also have courses on different little parts of the CFA Level 1. If you don't really fancy spending those $3,000 to $5,000, you can also take a course like that on Udemy and you will get most of the same knowledge. Plus, this is a little bit kind of in the gray zone, but the course's name is almost identical with the actual CFA. So if you put this course's name on your CV or on your LinkedIn, I kid you not, I bet many people will look at it, they will assume you did the CFA. Okay, so this is kind of illegal advice that I'm giving out, but I just put it out there, you know, it's your choice to use it or not. God damn it, getting myself into trouble again.
Several days later.
Now the rating. We are going to score these courses on a scale from 1 to 10 on 3 parameters. First one, knowledge increase. Second one, employability increase. Third one, price. Knowledge increase is how much knowledge do you actually gain, right? That's what we all care about. We want to gain knowledge, we want to learn. Second one is how much does this course actually help you get a job, you know, either because you get great connections or it's highly valued at the employers that you're applying to and so on. Third one is price. Wharton Finance, 439. So the knowledge increase is okay, but it's a bit shallow. As I said, it's for beginners. Employability, this is not going to help you a lot. Price, super cheap, so very high rating. Wall Street Prep, 656. So this one you really learn a decent amount. It's also going to help your employability. It's quite well regarded. Most people on the other side will know it, especially in investment banking. And the price is okayish. Data Analyst, 676. In terms of knowledge amount, you learn more or less the same as with the equivalent in finance, Wall Street Prep, but they offer a bit better connections, a bit better placement opportunities afterwards into nice employers. And also in the tech sector, these kind of programs generally have a higher reputation. And so for the price, it's alright, it's a 6. CFI, 865. So the knowledge increase is immense. It's an 8. Really a lot of knowledge packed in there. Employability increase, it's a 6. It's a bit better than Wall Street Prep, which is one of the, you know, some would consider this a competitor. It just looks a little bit more official, this certification. And in terms of price, it's a bit more expensive, so it's a 5 here. Lastly, the CFA, 1083. 10, great knowledge. You get a lot of very deep finance knowledge, so that's a 10. Employability definitely increases a lot because this is internationally recognized, so it's an 8. But the price is really high, so this is a 3. So if we equally weight these 3 factors, we are left with a total score of 5.3 for Wharton, 5.6 for Wall Street Prep, 6.3 for Data Analyst, 5.6 for the CFI, and 7 for the CFA. Now you make your own choice. Plus, if you have watched this far, please mention a couple of other courses in the comments and let's discuss a bit what else is out there. And then if you want, I'm happy to do another thorough research on these things that you mentioned in the comment. My favorite comment of last video: so who is this guy?